So what's up, everyone? It is your girl Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we gotta get ready with me going on here. So I gotta do a few products in for the holidays that I want to try out with you all, and I want to talk about a holiday release from one of my favorite brands and how everybody, including me, was disappointed by it. I'm hoping that doesn't turn them into the route of going of Urban Decay. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. If you don't, we're going to talk about it in this video. But I got a couple of products in from Vive. I ordered her face palette. We're going to get into that and how interesting it is. And I got the concealer because Makeup by Tammy was talking about how nice it was. So I found it on, what is it, Space NK for I think 25% off or something like that. So I went ahead and bought it there because I usually buy her stuff from Cult Beauty, but it wasn't on. I got a better deal on Space, so I went ahead and bought it there. So it just showed up today, so I figured we could use it today. Then I have some Rim Beauty stuff I wanted to try in this video. I don't know which lipstick I'm going to use, so that's why I have a couple out. And then I have the Rim Beauty highlighter I need to try out. And then for the eyes, I got a couple of Rim Beauty shadows that we're going to put on the eyes as well. So we're going to try out the Rim Beauty stuff today, basically, in this video, because I don't want to give a dedicated video just to that, knowing that, you know, it's kind of old and you probably won't care. For the mattes I actually used the Tarte Maneater After Dark palette on my eyes just because I need some mattes, and it was another new thing I had got, because when y'all see my Black Friday haul, y'all gonna be like, this is outrageous. But yeah, so I just used I think 3 shades out of the palette to get what's going on here, because I wanted some mattes for the outer V before we put the shimmer on the lid. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm sure you read the title. It says, is Milk Cosmetics becoming the new Urban Decay? So let's get into this concealer, because I already got my face on. I put on the Mirror Beauty foundation stick. Y'all know I live for the Mirror Beauty foundation stick. When I need a quick on the go foundation that I know it's gonna look good on the skin, it's not gonna take a lot of time for me to get done, this is my go-to here. I have the shade Deep 1 in the Modern Radiant Concealer from Vive Cosmetics. But yeah, so about Mel Cosmetics. So this doe foot is huge. Anyway, it's kind of made like the Dior doe foot, the Dior Fever. Anyway, about what you came here for. Okay, this is much darker than I would normally get, so I don't know how I'm feeling about the shade. And it's feeling like a thick gel-like consistency on the skin. Okay, but back to what I was actually gonna say now. So I know myself and a few other content creators on the platform were talking about how they were disappointed in the Milk Cosmetics holiday collection this year, and then the one from the year before people weren't really that crazy about. But I guess we should travel back in time to when people were really into Milk Cosmetics and then move forward to where we are now. And then maybe you'll understand what I said about Urban Decay. So if you don't know, Urban Decay used to be like one of the it brands, and they would talk about how unique and fun Urban Decay was and how edgy and different they were. And then they started falling off and started getting to the pattern and trend of like playing it safe and, you know, repeating the same color stories over and over again and slapping the word naked on it and thinking everyone should be excited about it like they do now. So I was saying, I feel like Milk Cosmetics might end up in that thing, because you got to think about it. For like years and years, they had the, you know, the 420 palette. A good like 3 years in a row, they always did palettes based upon when 420 came. Now originally the Smoke Sessions palettes they brought back out on 420 was their holiday collection, and that's what I used to like about them. Like their holiday collections used to be different and, you know, fun, and they used to be unlike anyone else. But it's like now I just feel like they're regurgitating and copying a whole bunch of stuff. If y'all remember in the video about the holiday collection, I'll try to remember to link it up above, I told y'all about how I felt like you had all those colors from every single one of those palettes in one of their stacks or in one of their other palettes, because they have certain color stories and certain patterns they like. Which again, we all have preferences. I'm not trying to down their preferences. I'm simply saying I felt like you didn't need not a single palette from that collection just because they kept releasing the same color story over and over again. Like, how many green palettes does Mel have? How many deep grungy matte tone palettes do they have? It's like, how many all of these different palettes do they have that like look really similar and the same, to where you don't need to keep going out and buying palettes? Like, I feel like even when they do neutral palettes, they look similar. Like, I feel like the Burnett palette looks really similar to the Rust palette. And then like Gemini and what is it, 420, I feel like look really similar. Now Smoke Session does look different from the rest of them, but again, it's like, you notice I feel like they have a pattern in what they put out and what they do. And I'm feeling like starting to have that pattern, starting to catch up with them and making their audience bored. That's just my personal opinion. And the fact that other content creators are saying the same thing that I'm saying when it comes to their collection and the fact that they did like a Zodiac collection and they just tried to put a twist on it by calling the bad side. I feel like people weren't really feeling it and were disappointed along with the quality, because I heard people saying they didn't think the quality was as good as it used to be either. So that's the way I felt. So I wanted to talk about it in a video, which is what we're doing now. So I remember when I first started buying milk, they were so unique and fun, and a lot of brands didn't do the stuff that they do. But the problem is I feel like a lot of brands are starting to do the stuff they do, and like a lot of indie brands are coming out doing the color stories and things that they do, or giving us fun bright color stories, because they did give us like one bright palette or two bright palettes. It was the rainbow, sorry, it was the retroactive stack, and then it was the what's that other stack, the baby girl stack. So I want them to go more in the direction of colorful next year, just because it's like going to be a different take for them as opposed to all the grungy stuff they're doing. Because I feel like if they keep going down the same grungy road where they give you 7 and 10 like grungy mattes, like 2 light shades and a whole bunch of deep shimmers, people are going to get tired. And they're going to find themselves in an Urban Decay moment where it's like they're going to keep coming with all these green palettes, or they're going to keep coming out with all these grungy palettes and putting a couple of pops of color, I mean a couple of lighter shades and then a couple of shimmers, and people just gonna be tired and not want to be bothered with them anymore. So I'm like, I want them to get out of doing so much grungy dark tone stuff. Maybe do some jewel tones. I don't know, do some jewel tone shimmers, to a brighter jewel tone shimmers to match the deeper grungier matte, so you can have more like a monochromatic type palette, but with a different type color story for them. Because it's like, if you keep doing the same thing, after a while people gonna stop buying the palettes, especially when you keep going up on the price and they feeling like the quality is changing. So that's what that's how I feel about the brand. Now let's talk about Urban Decay and how they ended up there, and why I'm saying I feel like Milk could end up there based upon the stuff I just said about what they're doing. Now I heard Urban Decay was the it brand. By the time I got to YouTube and got to Urban Decay, they had started getting into that we're just gonna make 40 naked palettes and we're not gonna, you know, like give you a whole bunch of variety and fun stuff. I felt like time to time they would do some stuff, because they like, when I came to the makeup world, they would just discontinue the electric palette. You know, the colorful palette everybody raves about to this day and says they're so happy to still have in the collection, have been hoarding it for 40 years, because Urban Decay hasn't done anything fun like that again. In forever. I got into YouTube around that time. So it's like the smoky palette, the smoky naked palette was at, or Urban Decay naked smoky palette was at, where's that place? Nars Macao. And so was the electric palette. Now I was gonna get the electric palette. I ended up not getting it because I had the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. And I'm still fine with that decision, because obviously they're gonna expire after a while. And since they're not gonna bring it back, then I was fine with not having in my collection to spray the face. But that was when they still did the what they call the Vice palettes, and everybody was excited about those too. So they had fun stuff coming out when I first got into makeup. But I feel like over time they just tried to rely on the like naked palettes and didn't try to do anything fun. Then they did that one Born to Run that everybody thought was fun, but then discontinued it after they did like a little bit of that. So I don't know if just naked was making them more money than Born to Run, and that's why. But I never thought naked palettes had exceptionally wonderful formulas to begin with, and then the fact that they had all these like boring things to go with them, I was kind of just like, let's get into this Vive palette. It's called Dimensional Face Palette in the shade Dusk. So there's a highlighter, a blush, and a blush intenser, and a bronzer. So this is the bronzer. I was hoping this one would be more like catered toward you know, tan, dark, and then the first one would be like light medium. But to me this just seems like it's medium, maybe tan. I don't know that Karen would even be able to wear this bronzer. I was hoping it'd be more like my, where is it, you know, the Burberry one that I have, where they had like a dark one, sorry, medium to dark. I was hoping the medium to dark would be more like this, but yeah, y'all see what it's looking like. I mean, I feel, let's put them side by side, because I feel like the color stories that she chose were similar too, but it's like Burberry got you beat by a long shot, by like a whole long shot. Not that that's what this is about, but I just wanted to do the comparison since I'm about to put this on my face. So what I did was I put a deep cream bronzer on the cheeks, hoping that it would help like bring out the color of this one, because right now she's not giving it all. She's not giving anything I need, and you know, Anyway, let's get into this bronzer. So but back to what I was saying. So Urban Decay, yeah, Urban Decay. I felt like right when I got into makeup on YouTube was when they started like getting boring and like trying to play it safe and all that, and trying to rely on like the whole naked series as opposed to just, you know, coming out with more unique and fun stuff. Like I said, the only fun unique thing I remember them coming out with was the, what's that thing called, the Born to Run collection. After that, I feel like they just, you know, relied on naked and just put whatever color story they felt like in a naked palette, and got, you know, in this lazy comfort zone that they're in now, to where it's like your stuff is always going on sale because nobody wants to buy it. And a part of that is because, you know, people are tired of naked series, and I feel like they need to come up with something different. So that's why I'm referring to Melt like that, because it's like them going to zodiac signs and they being this unique and fun brand that usually comes out with fun, unique things every year. In the last couple of years, people haven't been impressed with them. I'm like, you're starting to look really Urban Decay-ish, because it's like your fan base is upset that it's not what they want it to be, and then you know, you keep giving them regurgitated color stories, and it's like, how long do you think people want these regurgitated color stories? Like, they want you to come up with something different and fun like we've been doing. So the fact that they're not doing that, I feel like is concerning to me. So that's why I was like, are y'all turning into Urban Decay? Like, are we gonna get another green palette next year, and you're just gonna change whatever pop of color you put in with the greens, or you gonna give us some more, sorry, with some more blues and what do you call them, blues and greens and reds, like another Morte-ish type style palette? It's like, I feel like they just keep giving us the same thing over and over and over again. Are you gonna give us some more warm tones? Like, I just want them to give something different. Like, give us some, like I said, give us some jewel tones. Since you want to do monochromatic stuff like you did with the with those miniature palettes from Bad Side Zodiac collection, it's like, give us a smaller ones like that, but with jewel tones. Make the Shapeshifter stack a palette and add some grungy mattes with it. It's like, there's other stuff that they can do that they don't have to, like, keep just giving us greens and blues and their go-to, like, color stories that they like. I mean, I understand when you own a brand, you have certain things that you like and you want to put your personality in the brand, but it's like, we still need you to branch out and step out and try different things, or else nobody's gonna be bought. So that's what I mean by them changing. So another thing is, like, quality wise, like, I've been hearing some people say that they don't like necessarily quality. Let's go ahead and put this highlighter on. This is Miss Uranus. Where's my highlighter brush? Here it is. This is my first time trying the Rim Beauty stuff, so I'm interested to see how it's gonna go. Yeah, I feel like they could, their quality has changed too when it comes to their palettes and stuff, because I feel like the quality in this holiday palette is not the same as the quality in the previous palettes. Like, the Morte quality is better, the Beetlejuice quality is better. I feel like the last 2 years the quality has changed on the palettes too. Now, that could be because of the pandemic and, like, not being able to get the same resources, or not selling as much product because people have to cut down on purchasing things, and that's why they, you know, you had to change the formula, but you still had to keep the same, I guess, price point to keep your business afloat because of other things. But I'm like, if the quality isn't the same, that's another reason for me to, like, not buy it, because it's like these last 2 holiday palettes, I mean, I felt like the quality was fine on the was it Mariposa's palette, but I don't know, their hit and miss quality too is another reason I feel like people are starting to get fed up after a while. Because I hear some people saying, like, they wait for reviews now instead of just going out and buy it. Even some YouTubers say that, just because they're like, they feel like it's a hit and miss quality going on. So I'm like, if you keep doing that, you're gonna end up like Melt too. I mean, you're gonna end up like Urban Decay too, and it's gonna end up people buying on sales rack. Like, if you haven't noticed, a few day palettes have been going on sales racks now. Like, what 420 was on there. I know the Millennial Pinks that people absolutely just despised and talked about so bad was on there. So I'm like, I'm feeling like, again, that's another thing that might make them end up being like Urban Decay. Look how gorgeous that shade is. This shade Quality Time. I'm gonna just take a brush and, like, rub it all over my lid. You see, I was trying to decide if I'm gonna put glitter glue on or not, but I think we're just gonna wing it and just put it on a regular brush. Let me grab this brush real quick and just start rubbing it on the lid. And then I'm gonna put the mint shade in the inner corner. I don't know what the name of it is right this second, but I'm gonna do this. But yeah, so with that being said, stuff going on the clearance rack, the quality of stuff not being the same as all the time, like it and the economy being what it is, it's like, I just don't want them to try to keep coming up with these same things, because it's like, we're telling you we're not necessarily excited about the last 2 releases. We're telling you not like an inconsistent quality, and I feel like it's still not changing. So that's why I'm like, well, what's it gonna take for it to change? Because, you know, people have said for years now that they felt like their quality was inconsistent. People have said for years now they're tired of greens. I appreciate them finally putting the greens away though, because since people did say it, you notice I don't think they really came out with a green palette this year besides like the Earth palette. I might be mistaken, but I feel like they didn't come up with a green palette this year. People said they were tired of 420 inspired palettes with green and other things, so they stopped doing that. So it's like I just want them to get some new fresh ideas and not necessarily keep doing the same type of color stories, because it's like if you keep doing the same type of color stories, I'm feeling like it's going to turn into an Urban Decay thing where people going to be like, well, I want them to do more than just this and stop buying because of the things that I've mentioned. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts down below as to how you feel about it. Honey, I'm here for this color called Quality Time. Honey, she's giving all the sexiness. Okay, Ariana. Now I see why Stephanie or Babs Beauty here on YouTube was talking about how you know, how fiery and gorgeous these are. I don't think she had this one. I'm pretty sure she had the mint colored one. She does get PR from the brand though, so I don't know. I think she gets PR from the brand. No, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know how she if she used this color, but I know she used this other color here, what it's called, Touch, the minty green, when I want to put in the inner corner. I just want to pop it in the inner corner to see how it's gonna look there. I think it'll look really cool. And I'm trying to give you like a somewhat Christmas vibe, since you know this is it is like the holiday time, but put a twist on it, because I mean I put a twist on it. I'm sorry. I'm not used to having to do this eye on camera, so I'm over here like, wait, how did I do it? But see, it's just giving a nice like iridescent shimmer to the inner corner. I would have preferred to put this all over the lid, but you know, I wanted to see how the red was gonna pop, and I had already put the matte that was red to go with it, so I thought you just gotta stick with it, girl. I'm gonna put it there. Now it's too late. I'm gonna have to stick with it. So I'm trying to kind of pat this in the inner corner so you can get more of the brightness from it. But now I think about this might not necessarily be a good idea, because I got to film other videos tonight. Because I mean, I was gonna film another video, but look at that. Yes. Okay, so it was a good idea. That looks stunning. But that's based upon what I said about Melt and and Urban Decay, and talking about the similarities I feel like they share as far as like what they do with their brands. You can comment down below and tell me what you thought about it. It wasn't necessarily me trying to inform you of like, you know, the history of the brands and all that. I mean, I tried to give a little history based on what I've experienced with each brand, and when I came into the makeup community, what each brand was doing. But you know, that's just my take on how I feel and what I feel is happening to the brand, and what stuff I would prefer to see from the brand. So I hope you enjoy it. We only got one more thing to put on now, girl, and then we'll be good. So I'm gonna put on the lipstick. I don't have a lip liner from the brand. And silly as I am, I forgot to buy the lip liner. I bought everything else except that, so I'm gonna just put on this LA Girl one. Then I'm going to put the lipstick on in the shade Tiramisu. That's the darkest one I have, because I feel like the other one's a little too bright. And they're more pinky and peachy, and I feel like they'd go with this eye that well. So here's what she looks like. Just put her on and see how the quality of it is. Because I heard the quality of these lipsticks are amazing, but let's find out. Okay, so the formula seems pretty nice on it. I like the color. I feel like it goes great with this eye look, and I'm here for all the stuff I tried. So just a over review. I really like the highlighter. I think it looks nice. I remember I knew Stephanie wanted to steer me wrong about Beauty here on YouTube. She said she really liked the highlighters. I like the highlighter as well. I like the lipstick as well, like she said, and I like the eye creams, like she said. So I'm not surprised I liked all the stuff that Stephanie thought was good from GRWM Beauty, and that's why I bought that stuff in particular. I still didn't get to try the liquid eyeshadow that I wanted to, so I think I'm going to include this in the video when I use the Troublemaker eyeshadow palette. So I'll see, you'll see that in that video. But I like all the stuff I tried overall. It dried down easily. It doesn't feel weighted and heavy on the eyes. It gives a great shape. I feel like it wasn't hard to blend into the what is it, the matte eyeshadow I already had on my eyes, because you know sometimes it gets stuck to that and it makes it look patchy, but I didn't have that issue, so that's good. This face palette from Vive, I'm having mixed feelings about, because as you can see, this is like way too light. I feel like I have to put a really deep cream on underneath and then only be able to use this in wintertime, so I can't give too many thoughts on this because we still haven't tried the blush and the highlighter. I'm trying to figure out which blush is the intense blush. I'm assuming this is the intense blush because I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the bronzer, this is the highlighter, and then this is another blush. So I'm gonna have to try it out some more and see how I feel. The concealer went on nicely. It has like a gel consistently feel to it. I told y'all that when I blended it out. I feel like it gave good coverage and it looks nice and smooth across my pores and on my face when I added the powder. So far so good with all that other stuff. But like I said, comment down below and tell me what you thought about what I thought about Milk Cosmetics and the eyeshadow palettes, because I know I gave y'all a whole video on why I felt like you didn't need them, and then I know a lot of people said they were disappointed with the price point of the original holiday palette from 2021, and now these 2022 ones, people said they're not impressed with the formula or the price of them. Well, not necessarily the price, because I feel like some people said they liked the price of the palettes because it was a good way to try Melt without paying a high price point. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you feel like Melt is about to turn into Urban Decay with, you know, the constant releases of the same thing over and over again, or what? But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be the best, girl. Bye.